welcome to week 6 of Game Day. Here we are from East Lansing, home of the 5th-ranked Michigan State Spartans. Today it's a top 10 matchup where the Spartans take on the 8th-ranked Buckeyes of Ohio State. We'll go into midfield as Ohio State calls. What do you call, Rich? You want heads or tails? All right, tails is the call. The coin is up, and it is tails. Rich, you would like to receive, wouldn't you? There it is. You heard it there first, folks. He liked to receive. Drew Dixon back for the kickoff. And he is going to immediately boot this one out of the start of the end zone and out of the back of the end zone. And we're going to start from the Ohio State 25. Robert Griffin snaps the ball. He drops back to pass. He's looking. He can't find anything. He's going to take off. He finds some room on the right side, and he's going to find 10 yards and an Ohio State first down. From the 35 now, he's back to pass again. He looks right. He finds Tremaine Deloney, but it sails over his head, incomplete. He's going to snap it. This time he's going to hand off to Kareem Brantley. He gets only 2 on 3rd and 8. Griffin hands it off to Brantley again. Brantley finds some room. The offensive line gave him a good push, and he's going to find 10 yards for a first down at the 47. Griffin back to pass. He fires to Landon Miller, and he has some room. He's going to get dragged down for 19 yards and a first down at the Michigan State 34. Ohio State driving. Griffin hands it off to Brantley. Brantley gets another 7. He snaps it to himself, and he carries it for 5. First down at the 22. Griffin again snaps it and calls his own number. He finds another hole for 7 yards, and Michigan State's defense cannot stop Griffin. He's cooking on the run game. Griffin snaps it. He fakes the run. He drops back to pass. He's looking. He fires to the corner of the end zone. Kareem Brantley caught it in the corner of the end zone, 15 yards and an Ohio State quick touchdown to start the game. Back for the extra point, Vincent Rollins. He kicks it up, and it's right down the middle. 7-0. 10:45 left in the game. In the quarter, not in the game. We just started. Vincent Rollins will kick it off out of the back of the end zone. Touchback. And Michigan State answer. Already down 7. First and 10 on their own 25. Will Bates will do his best Robert Griffin V impression, and he will take off on the run, and he will find 8. 2nd and 2. Will Bates drops back to pass, and the ball went right between his legs. He's going back. He's going to pick it up. He picks it up, and then he throws it to Alex Johnson, and it's incomplete. And it's going to be 3rd and 2. A short yardage situation on 3rd down. Will Bates hands it off to Josh Busby, and he will be stuffed. Ohio State's D-line comes up with an immediate stop. On 4th and 2, Mario Parsons will have a horrible punt, 31 yards, and the defenders are going to the wrong side. Jared Wiggins is all alone on the near side. Jared Wiggins is taking it off. There's no defenders to stop him. He's down the sideline. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. And the punter will push him out at the 6. Ohio State is absolutely on the right side of this start, and they will start from the 6 in Michigan State territory. Ohio State lines up, but they're a little too fast, and Bobby Robinson will jump, and it'll be a false start, and they'll start back at the 11. First and goal from the 11. Robert Griffin gives it right back to Brantley. Brantley finds 6 yards on the near side, and that'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 5. Griffin hands it off to this time Michael Day, but the defense is all over Michael Day. He'll only get 1. 3rd and goal from the 4. Griffin to Brantley again. Brantley, he jukes a man. He stiff arms a man. He's going to power, and he's going to drag 2 defenders with him into the end zone. Ohio State extends the lead already. The extra point is good, and with 7:36 left in the first, it is 14-0 Buckeyes. The 8th-ranked Buckeyes are taking Michigan State out for lunch right now. Vincent Rollins kicks it off to the 2-yard line, and Marcus McLaughlin will return it 18 yards to the 20. Will Bates. He's not being himself right now. He will do his best Robert Griffin impression again, and he only gets 2 this time. He'll hand it off to Green. Green will get 5. 3rd and 3. They really need to drive right here. Will Bates to Liam Green, and Green will again get stuffed. Ohio State's defense is coming up to the challenge, and they are stuffing him every time on 3rd and short. Mario Parsons out again on the 26-yard line. They will punt 52 yards this time, but Wiggs returns at 17 instead of 50-something. And Ohio State will start on their own 39. Griffin snaps the ball back to pass again. This time he'll fake the long throw and fire it short to Landon Miller. Landon Miller will get tackled after 6 yards. 2nd and 4. Griffin back to pass. He's looking and he's going to fire it to the near side to Robert Maples, but it's going to sail over his head and it'll be incomplete. 3rd and 4. Griffin, play action. He's going to drop back and he's going to find Trevon Hunt on the screen. Hunt is going to juke his man and he's going to get dragged down after a first down and 7 yards. I lost my spot here. Oh yeah, there we go. 1st and 10. No, he's gonna get. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's not gonna be complete. Robert Griffin is gonna get sacked for 7 yards by Trevon Hunt, and it's gonna be a 4th down. I'm sorry, Rich. I had a little mind boggling there, and I clearly missed the play there. 4th and 11, and they're gonna have to punt. Sam Sledge punts it 47 yards, and Busby will return it for 19. 1st and 10 on their own 34. Good field position for Michigan State. Will Bates back to pass. He's looking for Dan Hill, but he just throws it too short, and Dan Hill will be incomplete. He hands it off to Busby. Busby gets 5. He drops back to pass again. He fires it to Paul Hunter, and Paul Hunter trucks a man for a first down and 6 yards. On the 45 now. Will Bates snaps the ball. He sees nothing, so he's going to take off again. And this time he'll find 8 yards and not the first down, not quite. 2nd and 2. He's going to hand it off to Busby. Busby, this time he will find the first down in a short yardage situation. Maybe Ohio State's D-line wasn't ready for that. He drops back to pass. Will Bates. He finds Paul Hunter over the middle for a first down and 11 yards. They're at the Ohio State 33 now. Will Bates drops back to pass and a late draw play to Samson Parks. Samson Parks finds 5, and that will end the quarter. Ohio State 14, Michigan State nothing, but they're driving. 2nd and 5. Will Bates back to pass. He finds Paul Hunter. He is just slicing up these defensive backs, and he will have 1 yard past the first down. On the 22 now. Bates hands it off to Busby. Busby finds a hole and 13 yards. They're in the red zone now on Ohio State's 9. Will Bates. Long snap to Will Bates. He drops back. He looks for his man Hill, and he will find him 9 yards down the field, and he will dive for the goal line, and he will hit the corner pylon for a touchdown. Michigan State is answering. The extra point will be good, and it is 14-7 with 13:25 left in the half. Drew Dixon kicks it off to the goal line, and Jared Wiggs returns it for 22 yards, and they will start on their own 22. Robert Griffin trying to answer. He will drop back, and he can't find Robert Maples on the little wheel route. On 2nd and 10, He'll drop back again, but this time he finds Bobby Robinson for about 5, and then he will go down after 10 yards. A good little chunk of yards after the catch there. On their own 32, Griffin hands it off to Maples. Maples will get stuffed in the backfield for a -1 yard, and it'll bring up 2nd and 11. Griffin back to pass. He's going to throw it across the field, but it's going to get tipped by the D line. It's up in the air, and Marcus McLaughlin gets it. He grabs it for the defense, and he returns the interception 9 yards, and he will have it at the Ohio State 37-yard line. First down, Michigan State. A huge interception, and Michigan State is right back in the game. Will Bates marches the offense right back out there, and he will immediately hand the ball off to Josh Busby. Busby has a huge hole at the middle, but after a 12-yard carry, they're going to call holding on the offense, on the defense. Okay. They're going to call holding on the defense after a huge hole. And they will start now at the 25. But Will Bates will then get sacked, but only lose 2 yards on the sack, and it'll be 2nd and 12. Michigan State and Will Bates hands it off to Green. Green will only get 1 yard, and Ohio State does not like the lineup of the next play and will take a timeout. 3rd and 11. Will Bates back to pass. He finds a hole, but he won't get the ball out yet. And the D lineman will get him for a sack of 11 yards before the ball leaves his hands. And that will be a field goal attempt from Michigan State. Out 54 yards. Drew Dixon kicks it up, and it has the leg, and it sneaks through the uprights. 54 yards. Drew Dixon nails it. They are now only down by 4. Drew Dixon back out there for the kickoff, and he'll kick it deep in the end zone, and Jared Wiggs will return it to the 19. A bad decision by Jared Wiggs. Robert Griffin trying to find a comeback drive here for his bad interception, and he will immediately hand it off to Maples. Maples finds 8. He'll hand it off to Maples again. He finds 10. And then the immediate next play, Griffin drops back to pass and immediately will be dropped by Brent Lang for a 3-yard loss. The next time he will drop back again, and this time he can't find Brantley. It's incomplete. He will then hand it off to Bobby Robinson. Bobby Robinson will find 7 yards, but a flag flies. Too many men on the field on the defense. I don't know why they accepted this. No, actually I do, because it's still 3rd down. Okay, that makes sense. So it's 3rd and 8 now. They have another chance at the 1st down. Griffin drops back to pass, and he finds Swanson for 9 yards, and now Michigan State has just given them an extra possession here. Free possession. Robert Griffin, after the extra life given to them by the penalty, will hand it off to Kareem Brantley. Brantley gets 8. He drops back, and another flag flies after that. It'll be holding on Colin Brown, and it'll be accepted. It'll be back to 2nd and 12 on their own 46. Griffin will hand it off to Maples. Maples will get 7. He hands it off to Brantley again. Brantley gets 10. Ohio State's run game is dictating their drive here. On the Michigan State 37 now. Griffin back to pass. He finds Landon Miller underneath for 5. He's back to pass again. 2nd and 5. He can't find Kareem Brantley. It's too far to the right, and it'll drop to the turf. Incomplete. 1 second. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. It's be 3rd and 5. Ohio State ball on the Michigan State 32. Ohio State leads 14-10. Robert Griffin Snaps the ball. He's back to pass. He rolls to the left. He's going to throw off his back foot, but it's a dot to Tremaine Deloney in the end zone. 32 yards down the field. Touchdown, Ohio State. The extra point is up and good. Ohio State now leads by 11, 21-10. 5:57 left. Vincent Rollins will kick it off inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. McLaughlin only gets 15 yards, but it is to the 24 after the bad kickoff. Michigan State will start on their own 24. 6 minutes left in the half. 5:55. Will Bates hands it off to Busby, and he'll get stuffed. Only 1 yard. He'll hand it off to Green. This time they get a push. He'll get 7 yards. On the 3rd and 2 here. Bates hands it off to Busby. He gets a hole and 10 yards, but the flag will fly. Holding on Josh Smith. And it'll bring it back to 3rd and 12. 3rd and 12. Bates looking. He'll find Dixon. Dixon will stretch for the first down line, and he will get not quite there. It'll be 11-yard completion, and it'll be 4th and 1 on the Michigan State 33. In their own territory, they will decide to punt it. And Parsons punts it 35 yards. Wiggs gets an 8-yard return. They'll have it on their own 40 for the Ohio State offense. Up by 11. Griffin. Back out there again. And he will immediately snap it to himself, and he'll try to complete a pass, and he cannot. Michael Day drops it. On 2nd and 10, he'll drop back to pass, but this time he'll complete it to Bobby Robinson. 13-yard completion and a first down into Michigan State territory. Griffin will hand it off to Brantley. Brantley will find a hole in 8 yards, and Michigan State inexplicably will call a timeout with 2:16 left in the half. Griffin, 2 yards to go. He'll snap the ball. He'll fake the option, and he will take it himself. He gets 3 yards and a first down. To the 36 now. Michigan State calls another timeout. I don't know what Michigan State's trying to do with these timeouts, but they're doing something. They're cooking. Griffin. After the timeout, Michigan State with a plan. They blitz Griffin as he snaps the ball, and he will be sacked by Trevon Hunt. 5-yard loss and another timeout for Michigan State. 2nd and 15 on the 41 of Michigan State. Griffin back to pass again. Griffin will throw it underneath to Kareem Brantley, and he'll get tackled after only 5. And at 3rd and 10, they will just hand the ball off. Great play calling. They'll only get 4. And that procs a 2-minute warning. So on a 4th and 6 on the Michigan State 32, Rich will decide to bring out Vincent Rollins, his kicker, 49 yards out. He lines up. The snap is good. The hold is good. Kick is up, and it is way too far to the right. He will miss it. Michigan State starts on the 39-yard line. How does that make any sense? I don't know football that well, but why does he start on 39 after they kicked from the 32? Is that a thing? That's weird. Okay, they'll start from the 39. This is weird. Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna ignore that. Quill Bates hands it off to Busby, and Busby will be stuffed for -3 yards. The start of the drive. Looks like they'll just be happy to take this to half. He drops back to pass, but this time he completes 14 yards, and they're getting mixed signals now to their team and to the opposing team. Maybe it was a fake. On 1st and 10, they're at the 50. They'll hand it off again and only get 3. On 2nd and 7, they drop back to pass and complete a 3-yard pass underneath. They need to have more urgency than this if they want to score. It's 3rd and 4 on the 44 of Ohio State. They'll hand it off and get nothing, and then they'll punt. Okay, they'll punt it into the end zone. Second and 10, and they will false start, and they'll start from their own 15 with first and 15. Ohio State ball. Robert Griffin hands it off to Brantley. Brantley gets 14, and they'll run out the half. So a weird events there to end the first half. But it is 21-14 Ohio State as they lead in East Lansing. A quick water break, and we'll get back to the action. All right. Ohio State started with the ball, so they'll be kicking it off. Vincent Rolland will kick it off into the end zone for a touchback. Will Bates back out onto the field again, trying to get some offense going. Win a game where Ohio State's defense has ruled. Bates snaps the ball. He'll hand it off to Green, and the D line once again will stop him after 2 yards. The D line has been ready for the handoff this game. On a second and 8, Bates back to pass. He'll try something with the pass, but he has not the arm for Drew Dixon down the sideline, and it'll fall incomplete short of the receiver. On third and 8, they'll decide to just hand it off to Busby, but Busby does not want this drive to end as he drags some defenders and gets 11 yards and a first down. At their own 38, Michigan State hands it off to Busby. Busby will get stuffed again. -1 yard on that play. He'll hand it off to Green. Green will get 6. He hands it off to Busby again, and Busby gets 7 yards and the first down. At midfield now, Bates hands it off again to Busby. They'll get 1. He'll hand it to Green. They'll get 7. And on third and 2, Michigan State will decide to pass. Bates back to pass. Draws back. He's looking. No receivers are open. A defender comes and he jukes the man. He'll keep looking down the field and he's running for his life. Going to the near sideline. He's going to fire it all the way down the field. Drew Dixon finally breaking free. Wide open. He's down the sideline. He's to the 20. He's to the 10. Michigan State has scored a touchdown and they close the lead. 21-16 now. Michigan State sends their offense back out there after the miracle play. Will Bates is going to fake the run, drop back, and he's going to find Dan Hill, but Dan Hill is not tall enough. It'll sail over his head, and the score will stay 21-16. After a good drive, Drew Dixon kicks it off short, and it goes to the 2-yard line. Wiggs will return it 23 yards to the 25. And it looks like a cornerback for Michigan State. Sebastian Motley is going to be on the field, not the floor. We'll check on his injury shortly. But it looks like he's able to walk off the field with his own power. And they'll start exactly on the 25, as most drives do. Griffin wants to answer. He drops back to pass. He immediately finds Michael Day on the route for 16 yards and a first down. On the 41, Griffin back to pass. This time, Trevon Hunt gets to him and drops him for a sack. 8-yard loss. And they're back 8 yards to the 33. Second and 18. Griffin snaps the ball. He looks for Brantley. Brantley isn't open, but he fires it in a tight window, and he'll catch it and get tackled for only 6 yards. On third and 12, they will just decide to run it. But Brantley wants the first down. He trucks a man. He stiff-arms a man. He's dragging defenders, but he will not get there. 10-yard run. will bring up 4th and 2 on their own 49. 4th and 2. Rich, what is your choice? 4th and 2 on your own 49. He says go, and his offense agrees. They will immediately go out there and they'll stack the line. They'll have 8 offensive linemen out there. The defense matches with 8 defensive line of their own and linebackers up on the line. They snap the ball right up the middle. Griffin tries the quarterback push. They're pushing. They're pushing. There's some movement, but no, it immediately gets pushed back, and 0-yard sneak will get a turnover on downs. Michigan State will get possession of the ball. Sorry, I had a coughing fit there. Khalil Key is on the field. He will be injured. Another secondary for Michigan State is down, the safety. He will also walk off the field under his own power. 21-16 is their score, and Michigan State starts with good field position on the Ohio State 49. 6:52 left in the third. Ohio State sends Will Bates back out there, and he will drop back to pass. He will fire it again. No, sorry, Michigan State. Michigan State will fire it to Alex Johnson underneath, and he'll get 6. 2nd and 4, they'll hand it off to Green, and Green will get the first down and 7 yards. On the Ohio State 36 now. Bates back to pass. Incomplete to Johnson. He fires it again. Incomplete to Liam Green. And they, on 3rd and 10, he will decide to just run it to Busby. He will only get 1. And on the 35 of Ohio State, they decide their kicker does not have the leg, and they punt it into the end zone for a touchback. So, no balls for Michigan State there. Ohio State gets the ball. On their own 20, Griffin will hand off to Brantley. He gets nothing. And Swanson decides he does not want to play. He starts swearing at the refs. He says there was a holding call and the refs disagree, and they get into a little argument, and the flags come out for unsportsmanlike conduct. Back it up 10 yards, and they start on their own 10 now. They will hand it off to Brantley again, giving the refs another chance to throw a flag on holding. They do not. They get stuffed for no yards. On 3rd and 20, Griffin will drop back to pass, and this time he sees a lane. He runs it himself. And there's no defenders there, but when they get there, he's not having enough for the first down. He slides down for 13 yards, and then they punt. Sam Sledge, 60-yard bomb of a punt. Busby returns it 13 yards, and they'll start on their own 30. Michigan State, down by 4. 5, math, 5. They're down by 5. Will Bates snaps it and hands it off to Busby. They'll find 12 yards, but accept the too many men on the field on Ohio State. That makes total sense. Okay. Oh no, okay, no, I see. It's on Michigan State. Too many men on the field on the offense somehow. I don't think I've ever seen that one. So it's 1st and 15 now. Bates will hand it off to Green. Green gets 9. 2nd and 6 on the 34. Bates will drop back. Incomplete to Hunter. He'll hand it off to Busby. And then, he'll hand it off to Busby, get 3. Holding will be called on the offense, will be declined. So they will punt again. They punt 68 yards for a touchback. Ohio State now with another chance. Both teams having a punt off. Robert Griffin snaps the ball and passes it to Delaney, and he'll get 14 after a good short catch and a good run. And that will end the quarter. It's 21-16, Ohio State with the ball. Robert Griffin, starting on their own 34 now. He snaps the ball and completes to Delaney for 19 yards down the sideline. Into Michigan State territory now. Griffin back to pass. He's cooking. He finds Colin Brown for 14. He hands it off to Maples. The D line for Michigan State is gassed. He finds 8 yards. He hands it off to Brantley again, quickly to the line, and he'll find another 9 yards. To the Michigan State 16 now. They snap the ball, but too quickly. Their offensive line is not set, and Robert Griffin gets sacked for 5-yard loss. They'll slow it down a little bit here. 2nd and 15 on the 21 now. Griffin snaps the ball. He finds more pressure in his face, and he'll just take his check down, and Bobby Robinson will only get 3. That'll bring 3rd and 12 back on the 18. Griffin will just hand this one off, and Kareem Brantley finds another hole, and Michigan State's run defense continues to be gashed on these plays. They'll find 12 and somehow a first down out of that. And now it's 1st and goal on the 6. Griffin. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. He'll hand it off to Brantley again. Brantley gets 3. He'll hand it off to Brantley again, and Brantley rushes for another 3 and a touchdown. Brantley extends the lead. It's now 27-16 Ohio State, and the extra point is good. With 8:46 left in the final quarter, Ohio State up by 12. Rollins will kick it off, and they'll let it bounce for a touchback. Michigan State needs an answer. And where do they go? They go to Liam Green. Liam Green gets a rush for 3 yards. They give it back to Busby. Busby gets 9 and a first down. They go to Green again. He'll get 7. They give it to Busby. He gets stuffed on the D line. 3rd and 3. Michigan State's 44. Bates snaps the ball. He checks it down to Dixon, and Dixon will get the first down after a 5-yard completion. To their own 49. 5:35 left. They're hurrying back to the line. Bates will hand it off to Busby. Busby will get 3. They run again, and this time there's an argument in the backfield. They don't know who they're going to hand it off to. There's 2 run backs. The running backs are arguing over the football, and they'll just fall over each other, and it'll be a negative 4-yard run. I have no clue what happened there, but Michigan State needs some discipline in the backfield. It'll be 3rd and 11 now after the miscommunication. Michigan State on their own 48 will hand it off, this time to Dan Hill. The other running back is nowhere near him, and Dan Hill will get 4 yards, and then they'll punt for 38 yards. And a fair caught at the 13. So some interesting offenses is going here for Michigan State. The score is 28-16 Ohio State. 3:08 left in the 4th, and Ohio State has the ball. So on their own 13 and a big lead, they will just hand it off. Kareem Brantley gets 3, and then after a false start, they decide they're going to pass instead. So it's 2nd and 12. Griffin back to pass. He's looking. He's going to roll to the right. And then he's going to fire it, but he doesn't see Brent Lane. Brent Lane picks this one off, and he's going the other way. A flag will fly, though, and Brent Lane will only get 3 and get tackled. What is the penalty going to be? They're going to call unnecessary roughness on the offense, Bobby Robinson, and it's declined. Michigan State, after another interception, will get great field position. They start on the Ohio State 31. 3:01 left in the game, down by 12. Will Bates hands it off to Busby. Busby finds a hole and 7 yards. Will Bates drops back again. This time he rolls to the right, and he will get absolutely smashed by Sam Sledge, and he will get dropped for 2 yards. And the 2-minute warning will go off. 3rd and 5, 2 minutes left on the 26, down by 12. Michigan State back to pass again, and this time he'll find a first down to Paul Hunter, 5 more yards, and he'll get tackled after a 10-yard completion, but he'll fumble the ball. And Liam Green for the offense will pick it back up and then get tackled at the 14-yard line. So Michigan State dodges one there as they try to keep in this game. 1:47 left. They're running out of time. Michigan State snaps the ball, and he's going to get sacked again. Andrew Russell gets to the quarterback, and they lose 7. Michigan State's O-line is not in this game right now. They've let too much pressure get to him. Michigan State's O-line, 2nd and 17. They'll decide to hand it off with 1:37 left, and he gets 12 yards, so it works out for them, but questionable play calling. They'll snap the ball after a 3rd and 5, and he'll find Paul Hunter just over the first down line. First down, Michigan State on the 3. 1:23 left. Will Bates will hand it to Busby. Busby trucks a man, and he'll find the end zone. Michigan State gets it back within 1 score after a touchdown. The extra point is up and good. So Michigan State down by 5 with 1:21 left. They decide that they do not want to let Ohio State have the ball back. They will try an onside kick. The kicker is out there, Drew Dixon. He's been practicing this in practice a lot lately as he comes onto the field. They fake the kick here, and he'll kick it to the left. And the receiving team is all over it, but they'll kick it around. They can't get the ball. The ball jumps in the air. It hits off a defender's helmet, and the Michigan State offense will get it. Michigan State gets the onside kick, and they will start on their own 41 after the crazy onside kick. Michigan State has a chance. 1:16 left, down by 5, 28-23. Michigan State snaps the ball. He hands it off. Hold on 1 second. Okay, those are fireworks. Okay. So Michigan State, I had a mistake here. Michigan State doesn't get the ball on an onside kick. It says it was covered by the receiving team, and I for some reason thought that was Michigan State. So no, Ohio State gets the ball on Michigan State 41. My bad, guys. So Ohio State hands it off to Maples for 6. Michigan State timeout. They'll drop back to pass and get 3. Timeout Michigan State. And they'll complete to Delaney for 14, but they'll get a holding call. They'll hand it off for 7, and then they'll kick a 52-yard field goal to make it 8. And then they'll kick it off for a touchback and Michigan State ball. So Michigan State is now down by 8 with the ball. My bad, guys. So now Michigan State has the ball with 52 seconds left and down by 8. Will Bates hands it off to Josh Busby. Busby will get 4. And I don't know why they're handing it off. 42 seconds left. They'll quickly get to the line. Will Bates snaps the ball, but he'll take a quick drop down route as the defenders are in his face, and Drew Dixon gets dropped for -1 yard completion. 3rd and 7, he'll drop back to pass, and he will again take a check down to Drew Dixon, and he will not get anything. -1 yard. So on 4th and 8, they'll snap the ball. He's looking. He will fire it. Alex Johnson goes up and grabs it way down the field, and he will get tackled after 24 with 24 seconds left on the Ohio State 49. Down by 8. They need a score. Will Bates drops back to pass. He completes it to Dixon for 5. 2nd and 5. 16 seconds left. He gets back to pass. He'll take another check down to Paul Hunter. He is afraid to go down the field. On 3rd and 1, there's only 5 seconds left now. They hurry to the line. He snaps the ball. He's going to drop back. He's looking. They'll fire it down the field, and it goes up, and it is incomplete. But there's a flag on the play. There'll be a holding on the offense, and that will just end the game. Ohio State will hold on 31-20, 31-22. So, no. Wait, what was the score? I'm an idiot. 31-23. Okay. Yeah. Ohio State beats number 5 Michigan State on the road in a very interesting game. Not a lot of offense, but bad turnovers by Ohio State, leading Michigan State to win. Or to lose, sorry, to almost win.